Hello and welcome to race day. I am headed off to the Circuit de la Sal, and the race is set to start in about 4 hours. It's 12, it'll start at 4. I hope to go and see the museum today, but also walk around the paddock a little before the race starts. I'm really excited for what's about to happen in the next 24 hours. It's going to be a lot of work for me, moving around quite a bit and trying to record as much as I can. But hopefully I'll be able to put together a decent video at the end of this. So join me for race day at 2024 Le Mans. This is the main entrance to the Circuit de la Sal, and you got to go through those gates with your passes. They'll scan it and you'll get entry, and that way is the museum. That's where I'm headed to, and there'll be a detailed video coming separately on this channel soon. So I'll do a quick tour of the museum, and I'll see you guys once I'm out and entering the circuit. Being race day, there was a huge crowd waiting to go into the museum, and here is where the priority pass really came handy, as it essentially cut my waiting down in basically a quarter of the time. The museum itself is very well curated, and there are so many iconic Le Mans cars on display. It'll take you about 2 to 2.5 hours if you're really going through the museum at a fast pace, but if you want to take the cars in, you'll probably take closer to 3.5 hours. I just got done seeing the museum. It was really quite interesting, especially if you like the history behind the Le Mans cars and seeing them up close. Right now I'm in the paddock, heading off towards the main grandstand so that I can see the race start. Only about 20 minutes left. I want to get to a decent viewing point so that at least I can get a good view for the start. And yeah, let's see how the race kicks off. But I'm really excited, and the atmosphere is really electric. Here I'd like to mention an oddity with the paddock access pass, because even though it gives you priority and plenty of access to both the paddock and village area, unfortunately it does not give you any access to the viewing gallery that's just above the pit lane, or as such any gallery to look at the track for the race start. And I found this out only a couple of minutes before the race was going to start, when an official told me that if I want to see the cars start moving, I'd have to go towards the main grandstand and find a standing position there. This came as quite a surprise to me, because I thought at the very least there would be a standing gallery that you could see the track from, given how pricey these passes are and how much access they gave you on the day before. With barely any time left to race start, I ended up finding a nice spot that oversaw the Ferris wheel, and chose that to be the spot where I would see the race start from. By the way, if you want more details on Le Mans and the cars that race at it, do watch my explainer video linked in the pop-up banner on the top right, as well as in the description below. After seeing the first few laps, I rushed over to the other side towards the main grandstand to see if I could get a better view of the cars from there. And unfortunately, because I reached there so late, it was already extremely packed, though I did end up getting a decent view of the track and got some flybys of the cars as well. After spending about half an hour, 45 minutes on the main grandstand, I decided that I would want to relocate to get a better view of the track, and I headed off towards the Dunlop Bridge on the climb right up towards it, and you can see I managed to get some decent footage of cars zipping by. True to its reputation, the weather at Le Mans was definitely all over the place, with it going from overcast to drizzle to very sunny and then back to raining in the blink of an eye. So I've decided to relocate to the other part of the track. I've managed to get a ticket for a bus that will take me to the Mulsanne Strait. So I'm gonna head there now and hopefully get a view of the track. I'm not 100% sure whether I'll get a view of the track or if it's just a spot close to the strait, but we'll find out. And this is the crowd on race day. Quite crazy and hectic. On my way out, I crossed the Porsche curves and ended up seeing a few laps out there just because it was a new area to see, and I got a very good view of the cars from there. I couldn't help but stop by at the parking lot as there's some really cool cars knocking about. There was this Aventador SVJ, there was a Huracan STO, as well as this cool Urus. Then there's this BMW M4, this Porsche Speedster, Alpine A110, a 911 current gen, and there was also this huge queue of vintage Bentleys, which looked so cool, and in this lighting I think it was just amazing seeing these well restored vintage Bentleys. And of course the Bentley team had also brought along a new Bentley Continental GT convertible, which also looked really smart. Alright, so slight change in plans. I did not make it in time to the bus because there's a lot of crowd getting out. Honestly, I wasn't expecting so much of a line at the exit. But in any case, I needed to rest my feet a little bit. So I managed to come here at one of the seating areas with... This is the section from the Grand Prix tours, and yeah, we had live broadcast going on around here, but it stopped a little bit ago. More importantly, I have had some time to rest. I've had some stuff to drink and eat, warm myself up a little bit. It's quite breezy, and also it is 16 degrees out, so it's quite cold. But I'm thinking I'm gonna head back to the track now and see if I can find a nice spot on the grandstand. Otherwise, I'll do another paddock walk and see if there's anything interesting around there. Yeah. On my way back up towards the main grandstand, I made use of these toy trains that they used as free shuttles for maneuvering around the track. and it was really helpful because I was quite tired, and it ended up saving me doing about a kilometer or two's worth of walking. As we went further into the night, the atmosphere around the circuit's common area became more like a party, and as you can see, there's even a concert going on. From the village, I ended up going to the tried and tested spot near the Dunlop chicane, and I got quite a few really interesting shots going into the night, as you can see here.
Souffert, les écarts évidemment restent complètement stabilisés en ce moment. Robert.
At around 10:30, I decided that I'm gonna stop just staying in one area and explore the track a little bit more. So I headed off over to the Dunlop Bridge and crossed it, as you can see in this footage. From there, I made my way down towards the Dunlop S's, which are on the other side of the bridge. And again, I got some fantastic shots of these cars driving by. And I'm so glad I moved around a little bit. I want to give a quick shout out to the movie Ford vs Ferrari for giving such a good portrayal of what the tough driving conditions are, especially at night and in the rain. I have stayed up pretty much as long as I thought I could. It's been quite a busy day, honestly. If I hadn't started my day with the museum getting here at 12, I'd probably be in a better shape to make it all night. Also, a little bit of company with friends, it would be a little easier. But the race has been going pretty well. I'll just let you guys know what the standing order is right now. So overall it's Ferrari in first, with Porsche in second and Toyota in third, and it has just started raining, so let's see. I'm probably gonna head back now, and I will try and get back to the track not long after sun up. So that's at 6 o'clock. I think maybe a couple of hours, 4 hours of sleep maybe. So I'm looking maybe at 7:38 I'll be back, and we'll pick up where we left off. The rain's getting a little heavy, so I'm gonna make a move now. My decision to leave was just reaffirmed by the rain getting heavier and heavier, and even though I did stick it out for about an hour in the heavy rain, I couldn't record much because my equipment would get too wet, and I did end up seeing the fireworks show, which I got a glimpse of here. But this, paired with the fact that the safety car had been on for almost 2 hours, it just made sense to go back and get some rest now. I made it back to the room, and I had a little bit of an issue with my key. Got that sorted, took about 10 minutes. Fortunately, there were some other people also who were having same sort of issue. Basically, the key wasn't reading on the door. But that is day one complete. It's quite late, and for anyone who tells you that there's not a lot of walking at Le Mans, they are lying, because my day switched over. But on yesterday's, that is June 15th, I recorded about 23,000 steps, which my strides are anyway fairly large. I'll find out what the kilometer count was and insert it somewhere here. But oof, that was a lot of moving around, and I got drenched in the rain again right at the end. I thought it'd be clear, but it never stays too clear at Le Mans. That's one of the lures of coming and seeing the racing out here. So it was just a fantastic experience today, and I can't wait to go back tomorrow. Just gonna transfer some of the footage and get a couple of hours of sleep, and be back there as soon as I can in the morning. So it's about 9:30, 9:45. I'm heading back to the track now. I got late getting out. But yeah, there's a lot that's happened. After I left, the safety car ended up staying for another, I think, hour and a half. So around 1 when I left. And then there's been a lot of bad weather in between. There have been a few accidents. Most recently, just about 45 minutes back, one of the Aston Martins ended up rolling over. And that was at the Indianapolis. That was at the Indianapolis corner. So yeah, a lot's happened. I'm really keen on getting back. And even though it looks sort of sunny right now, there's rain predicted in about, I think, an hour. So I think it's gonna be another really wet day. But let's see, we'll find out. And yeah, there are about 6 hours, a little over 6 hours to go. So see you guys then. On the second day, as I was more familiar with the track layout, I knew exactly where I wanted to go to catch some of the trackside action. I first headed off towards the Dunlop chicane. And got some shots around the Dunlop Bridge. But I think my favorite vantage point was near the S's, where I got some really clean shots of the cars driving by. I'm really pleased with these shots, so here you can have a look at them. I then decided to head further off and go to Tetra Rouge. I ended up spending a decent amount of time here sitting on the slopes near the corner and got a lot of the action around here. And it was really fun spending a little while out here just watching the cars fly by you. Also note that you can get beer from people with these large kegs on their backs anywhere on the racetrack. I headed off to another vantage point that gave me a sight at the Mulsanne Strait, or at least the start of it, and here's the footage I managed to get of that. With just a little under 3 hours to go, the rain started coming down hard and the lead was being swapped between Cadillac, Toyota and AF Corsa Ferrari. When the safety car came out because of the rain, I decided to relocate closer to the Dunlop Bridge. With just about half an hour to go, I relocated to the start-finish straight so that I could get a better look at the action and a better understanding of the finishing order. And after a grueling 24 hours of endurance racing, it was the AF Corsa Ferrari team that ended up winning with the 50 number car. And you can see as it drove by, it got a standing ovation from the crowd. And credit where credit's due, the crowd did applaud all the drivers that ended up finishing the race, which I felt was an amazing touch and really shows the sportsmanship of the fans that come. This is the shot of the Ferrari pulling into the pit lane after the race. Here's a quick look at the top 5 finishers in each of the classes. because it was so tough to get a look at the podium from the main grandstand, I decided to go back to the paddock as I still had access there. The paddock is bustling right now. It's just after the race, the announcements are still being made. And you can see how busy it is right now. I am just strolling around because I've hardly been here today. I spend most of my time down near the Dunlop Bridge and near the Mulsanne Strait. So I thought I'd just pop by and see if there's anything interesting I can spot. That's the engine block for the Alpine team. How interesting. Oh, also, I completely forgot. That's the wings and noses of the hypercar. How cool. There is some Let's see some of the other booths. And just as luck would have it, I ended up seeing the Ferrari team boss with the 24 Hours of Le Mans trophy, and I was so excited because that was the closest I got to the trophy. I even got to congratulate them on their win. And the tramps. More booth. You can see some panels in there. And just like that, the race is done, and as you can see, the village is now fairly empty. This place was packed about 45 minutes ago, just before race ended, and now it's pretty much quiet. I'm surprised at how quick everything cleared out, but I guess that's to be expected from race weekend like this, well, race week like this. And yeah, I'm also on my way out. I'll find a quiet spot to sum up my experience of coming to Le Mans for the first time. Alright, so there is a lot to sum up, a lot to process for me, but in short, the things that really stood out to me were, one, how lively this entire place was. It was like a festival, and it was properly planned out in such a way, with events happening all across, places to eat. Unfortunately, there weren't that many places to just sort of chill and sit down, so you had to resort to finding space on the empty parts of the track like this, because the grandstands had seats basically reserved for most people who had already purchased tickets for the grandstand. Like, my pass allowed me access to the paddock area as well as the rest of the common areas of the track, and I got the grid walk as well. But yeah, if you are coming, that's something to keep in mind. Maybe you would want to get a seat on one of the grandstands. But apart from that, it was really fun. Like, I have got maybe 4 hours of sleep in the last day, 4.5 hours maybe, and I am still feeling so energetic. I'm buzzing after the race because it's such an interesting finish. Ferrari managed to defend their title, And honestly, there's not really much that can sum up the experience of being at one of these race events, because you have to consider things like the smell of fuel, burnt rubber, and the sound and vibration that comes in on track when you are watching a race like this. So I genuinely really enjoyed it, and I'd love to come back, maybe next time with somebody else who is interested in racing. And yeah, that's about it from me. I've got my souvenirs. The place is pretty much wrapped up. I'm gonna go find myself a cab back to my hotel, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.